People, we are Tottenham TV back here for the first post-match stream of the season. Tottenham 3, Burnley 0. We're going to get into all the player ratings, match reviews, reacts, and all the good stuff that has happened this weekend. However, unfortunately, we have to start the stream on a bit of a sour note regarding a Tottenham update. As we got a here we go? No, but as
we got a here we go again.
Yeah, that's the comment I wanted to bring up. James Morgan. No, that's not even the quote.
That's not the comment.
Peter Hall says, "We always want a here we go, and we always end up with a oh here we go again."
Great comment, Peter. Big up to you.
That is
big up to you.
That is comment of the week there.
And
from Peter Hall.
That is how we all feel.
Yeah, and that is
here we are. Here we go again. For sure.
Yeah, look,
Right
let's get into it. Let's get into it because last night we heard from Miguel Delaney saying there's complications in the Eberechi Eze to Tottenham situation. Before that, an hour before that, he says, Spurs are on the verge of sealing a 55 million deal for Eberechi Eze. All the reliable journalists saying, yeah, this is so advanced, this is going to get done. Eberechi Eze ain't going to be playing for Palace against Chelsea, which kicks off at 2 o'clock today. However, today, we've got some updates. First from Gary Jacobs saying that Eberechi Eze is set to start for Crystal Palace today against Chelsea. Fabrizio Romano says that Eberechi Eze starts today and some expected the same to happen to Mark Gehi. Clear plan by Ole Glasner. Negotiations for Eze to Tottenham remain advanced, but deal not sealed yet. So Glasner wants to trust Eze. Talks also continue for Gehi to Liverpool, but also not done. David Ornstein says that Eze expected to start for Crystal Palace at Chelsea today. 27-year-old attacking midfielder being targeted by Tottenham, and Tottenham's pursuit ongoing, but no agreement yet as Crystal Palace continue to work on possible replacements. And Miguel Delaney said, should Eze play today, it will represent a significant development as it has previously been agreed he wouldn't play, so it shows the deal has slowed down. I guess there are a few positives in that kind of segment to go through. I mean, the positives are that Palace are still working on replacements. Mm-hmm. The positives are that Romano's saying that the deal is still advanced. So I think that with Eze potentially playing against Chelsea today, which we'll find out in about, half an hour, around about.
5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes, is it?
Yeah, get the score, get the team lineups in 5 minutes.
We'll find out in 5 minutes.
Live reaction.
Live on the update, we'll find out. It is a bit of a kick in the teeth after we're hearing that, he wasn't going to play and the deal was so advanced that he's going to be pulled out of the squad and he doesn't want to play, etc., etc. But I still think this deal's going to get done. Yeah,
I mean, I'm obviously toing and froing with each update that we get. It's like they're kind of just like teasing us.
Without it, though.
Exactly. We never like to do things the easy way, do they? But every step of the way they're like teasing us. It's getting done. It's advanced. Yesterday was like widespread. He's being left out. But although what I want to say, and I was reading all those reports yesterday about him being left out. I think all of them, if you read them all, they're all very cleverly worded. They all say his place is in doubt. They all said he's a doubt to start tomorrow. There wasn't one report that said he's definitely not starting. He was definitely being left out. The only people who had said that, I think, were Indikilia, who we know I know he's got a few things right this window, but he's not the most reliable. And some ITKs. There was no reliable journalists putting their neck on the line saying he won't play tomorrow. They're all saying his place is in doubt. They're all saying he might not play. So no one was actually putting their neck on the line. And also right now they're saying he's set to start, that he's likely to start. That's what they're saying now. No one's saying he's definitely starting, which is also interesting. Yeah.
So I mean, no one really knows until the fact.
Exactly. So I guess we do have to wait till the lineups come out in a few minutes' time. But obviously the fact that the reporting has changed in the last few hours, I think definitely for me means when it's on the negotiating table, something's happened. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that it's widespread reporting yesterday that he's set to be left out of the team and all these different things. That's clearly been a media brief. I think even the press association said that. So there's a media brief there, and then all of a sudden there's a media brief saying he's set to start. So I think
Romano actually says Eze starts today. Full stop. He didn't even
Eze
say
does
set
start
to,
today.
yeah, that's what
okay,
he
so
said.
that
That was 2 hours
most
ago.
others have said set to. Okay, but he says set. Okay, well, I guess he's put his neck on the line there, so that's very interesting. So we'll see in a couple of minutes what the lineup is. But I'm saying definitely something's happened in negotiations. Is it have Tottenham gone back on something, which they said, did they previously agree to more money up front and now they've gone back and said, actually, we're going to go with more payments? So Palace are now saying, okay, if you're going to do that, we're going to put him in the team after previously agreeing something. Are Palace trying to get a few more million out of Tottenham last minute? And they're saying, look, we're going to play him unless you stump up this money full price. Is it just the fact that the deal's not signed and Eze doesn't want to be like Isaac and leave on bad terms? So he's just like, look, if a deal's not agreed, I'm playing kind of thing. Whereas it looked like it was being close to agreement yesterday. I don't think this ends the deal or anything. It's just, as a Tottenham fan, seeing how many deals have gone the wrong way for us and how many deals we've bungled, it obviously gives you a lot of anxiety where it seemed as though we had this deal in both hands yesterday within our grasp, and it seemed as though we was getting over the line and we seemed super confident. Everyone seemed super confident this is happening, and now all of a sudden he's back in the team, and now all of a sudden, if he gets an injury today, that completely changes everything, doesn't it, if it's a serious injury? So that, regardless of whether we feel the fact that he starts changes things, the very fact that he does start, in essence, we're gonna, I'm sure Tottenham are going to be watching that game with their hands over their eye. They're maybe watching this game behind the couch, just praying that he doesn't get injured, because that could change everything. So the fact that he does start, in essence, in theory, could put it in jeopardy. Not due to the fact that it means that the deal can't get done, but just that if puts in jeopardy that the fact if he gets injured in this game now, then that could change the whole essence of the deal. So that in itself puts a bit of jeopardy on things, which is not what we want at this stage of the deal. So let's just hope everything goes well. But yeah, I agree. If he gets through this game and everything's fine, I still think this deal goes through. But I just wonder what's happened in the last few hours. No one's really said what's happened. There's been a few little reports saying there's been a lack of agreement in payment terms and stuff like that. And that obviously sounds a lot like Tottenham, doesn't it, when it comes to not stumping the cash up front? That's
what it usually is when a deal snags with Tottenham. It's all about payment terms, structure, money up front, that kind of stuff. And we know that with Eze and Palace have been very kind of strict in terms of letting Eze go, in terms of they wanted a lot of money up front. So I doubt that's changed. Maybe it's softened a little bit, but I doubt that's changed, that they don't want a significant fee up front.
Eze starts, people are saying.
Yeah.
And they, of course they do. They put him in the graphic as well.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very reminiscent
White.
of Gibbs White for Nottingham Forest. But yeah, he's front and centre, Eze, of the lineup graphic, and he starts obviously up front with Sarr, Eze and Mateta for Crystal Palace.
And Guehi as well, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Guehi is captain as well on the day. So two players that are, expected to leave in Guehi and Eze, both start for Crystal Palace today. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in terms of the future of this deal. Does this have a major impact on it?
There it is.
In terms of from Eze's perspective, I mean, he's given Palace so much. Palace have given him so much. He's been such a loyal servant to them. I don't expect him to want to not play. You know what I mean? He's a very professional player.
And he wants to leave in the right way.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave like how Isaac left. Although I would say if he didn't play in this game, I don't think it's comparable to Isaac unless he's refusing to play. That's kind of different. But yeah, he wants to leave in the right way. He wants to leave on good terms. That's just the character. When you're going after players with good character like Eze and even Gibbs White at the time.
I don't think that was
that's the thing.
I don't think there was ever any reports of that. He wanted to pull himself out the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the manager and Crystal Palace want him to play, he's going to play. He's contracted to them. So I think maybe people are reading a bit too much into it. It was just a bit of a kick in the teeth because all we heard yesterday is that he's not going to play.
I don't think we are because I think I agree with you. Eze, I don't think himself wants to pull himself out, but I think what was reported was apparently now there was an agreement that he wouldn't play because the deal was so close, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he's now starting means that something has happened in the deal, in my opinion. So I think you can read something into that in terms of how far along or how progressed this deal is. It's not necessarily about whether it will happen totally by the end of it, but in terms of has something happened, I think the fact that he starts now compared to all the reports yesterday, I think something has clearly happened in this deal and last minute, which has led to Glasner saying, all right, he's going to play now today. And that is really frustrating as a Tottenham fan, because we thought that this deal was pretty much wrapped up, and clearly it's not quite that close. And
it's going to be all eyes, isn't it, on the final whistle, and everyone's going to be reading into every single little thing of Eze's. Does he go over to the Palace fans? Is he giving a clap? Is it a clap goodbye? Is it a clap for support? Like, everyone's
going to be goodbye. Oh, it's a clap. I can tell you already.
Into everything in terms of what's Eze going to do at the end of this game today.
Can I just say, if we do bungle this, there's going to be it will be the big. Would this be the biggest meltdown in the fan base that we've ever seen? Mate, if we bungle this deal,
not only bungle him, but if we bungle him and Savinho and Gibbs White all in the same window.
Oh my God!
The protests are going to be back stronger than ever. I guarantee you that.
If all this stuff is just because we're not willing to put a certain amount of money up front, and we bungle this deal because of our financial packaging, that would be the most Levy thing of all time.
They got to be scrambling around in the background, Spurs, saying, look, we just need to get this over the line by hook or by crook. Like, come on. Like, this is desperation mode for Tottenham. Like, we need this player in. It's not even like, oh, it'll be nice to have this player in. He's a top quality player. Like, we need him. It is desperation. That's how much we need him. We've got no creator in the team. So let's just hope, let's just pray that we can get this over the line. But look, all eyes on Stamford Bridge today, and all eyes at the final whistle and see what reaction Eze gives.
Or are Tottenham playing 4D chess? Delay this deal, let Eze maybe get a goal against Chelsea, take some points off them, and then we get the deal sealed.
Mate, I prefer Chelsea to win today and Eze not to play, to be honest. But look, we'll see what happens. In terms of the Savinho deal, Fabrizio Romano said earlier today that he understands Savinho remains keen on Tottenham move as negotiations are not over yet. Tottenham plan to try again for Savinho after the first bid revealed 1 week ago. Man City are closing the doors to exit, but in case of an improved proposal, stance could change. Tottenham want to try again for Savinho. What's your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I'm starting to get worried that I was right. Well, when I initially saw this deal, that are we actually serious about it? Like, obviously we want him, and that's clear. And obviously he wants to come here. But as I've said, when I first heard about this deal, we're going to have to overpay for him to get him, because City don't really want to sell and all that kind of stuff. And he's a good player, and they only really want to get rid if they can get a significant fee so they can reinvest that in Rodrigo. So I'm starting to get worried that we thought we could get this done for, like, a deal that would represent fair value, transfer value for him. Like, for example, 55, maybe 60 million or whatever it is. And I'm starting to get worried that City are demanding like 70, and we're not prepared to go that high, because that's in the current transfer market an overpayment when you're looking at the other transfers we've done with or have been done this window with the likes of Cunha in Buemo, even what we've done with Kudus, even Eze, how much he's going for, right? Well, if you're Tottenham, if you're Daniel Levy, you're looking at that, right? And apparently, the rumours are with this Eze deal, we've said to Palace, we look at the Kudus deal as a fair representation of what Eze should be worth. That's apparently the line we're looking at. So if he's drawing a hard stance there with Eze with that kind of fee, and look, apparently we might get it done for that, but if he's doing that, is Levy the kind of character to say, okay, but we're willing to go over that value for Savinho, for a player who's only played 1 year in the Premier League, who's 21, who isn't as proven as all the players I've just mentioned, pretty much, and we're willing to pay more for him than we are for for an Eze or these other players. So that's what I'm worried about. Now, I've said before, I think Savinho has that higher ceiling and is that good of a talent that I think we should. And it's an opportunity to bring someone like him in, where in other windows we wouldn't have this opportunity to get someone like Savinho in, where he's willing to leave. It's World Cup year, that kind of talent. Even though it's an overpayment, I think it's worth the risk, and I think I would go for it. I'm just worried that Tottenham aren't as serious as I think they are in terms of this deal. In terms of, I think they want to sign him, but are they willing to push the boat out? Are they willing to go that extra mile and put that extra cash up to overpay for him to get this deal done? I'm starting to be sceptical of that, to be honest.
It depends if you believe what Romano is saying at face value. Do you believe that Spurs are looking to go again, improve the offer of, the rumours are that, we've had a 70 million euro bid rejected, and if we're still willing to go back to the negotiation table, then we are looking to pay a bit more than that.
Apparently that was rumours that we had a 70 million euro bid rejected, but as well, the others, I've seen reports since then saying that those reports are wide of the mark, and it was much lower than that.
Who was saying that?
I can't remember, but I saw some reports saying that the reports of a 70 million euro bid was wide of the mark. It was a much lower fee than that.
I don't know. That's all I've heard about 70 million, and if we take that, look, we are looking to go more than that. But the reality is, like, when you're talking about the club are looking at it as they don't want to go higher than Kudus, or they think they shouldn't go higher than Kudus because the market value and the likes of all the other signings that have gone this summer. I think that's not the way the club should be looking at it, because there were so many other kind of details in those deals that was the reason why they were lower. Eberechi Eze is obviously, his contract is getting shorter. He had a release clause for 68 million that Palace had in the contract for a while now. Mohamed Kudus, West Ham, had some sort of loan they needed to play back, and he had a release clause for 85 million. No one else was coming in. They just had to accept that bid that we put in if we weren't going to go higher. So I think there's so many different situations. Savinho's literally only been at Man City for 1 year, so he's got a long contract there, and they can command a bigger fee because they obviously are not desperate for money, and they don't need the money. So it all depends on the current situations on each specific deal. So
I don't disagree with you at all. I agree with you, but I don't know if the club will look at it like that. That's
I'm saying
my
the club should look at it like that, because every deal is different in its own situation.
But but also you got to remember the players you're talking about are much more proven than Savinho.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to factor that in. Like, in terms, they've been doing it in the Premier League for a lot longer. Savinho's obviously been in the Premier League, and by and large, some would say he had his struggles. I would say he was quite impressive for a player of his age. But other people say he got one goal. That wasn't very good.
Kudus also had his struggles last season.
No, I don't. Again, I agree with you. But I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think how Levy's looking at this deal, and I think all of a sudden he's seeing these figures pushed to potentially over 70 million for a player of who's only played 1 year in the Premier League and all these kind of things. And is he willing to go to what City are going to demand to let him go, or did he approach this deal thinking, City's agents, Savinho's agents have come to us because he wants regular game time. If he wants out, City are usually willing to let players go at that kind of stage, right? And is Levy looking at that situation, think, okay, his fair market value is around 55 million or 60 million. We're going to go in and try and get him at that figure, because we feel like that'll be a good price, or that'll be a good deal. Now, if City are coming back and saying, look, we don't really want to sell him, but if you want to give us 70 million, then we'll consider it. Are Tottenham then going to push the boat out and go that high? I'm starting to be sceptical whether they actually will. But maybe what we've seen recently as well, with Pep saying he's injured, and there's been a bit of a back and forth with Savinho posting herself and all that kind of stuff. Will that make City a bit more? So will that soften City's stance? Will City start to get a bit angry with Savinho, and then all of a sudden be more willing to just lower their price and get rid? Maybe that can come into play. But I'm just skeptical. My only point is, if City are hardline about a really high fee like 70 million, I'm just a bit sceptical whether Tottenham are as serious as I hope they would be about pushing the boat out and getting him over the line. I'm starting to get worried about that, to be honest. Yeah. I think they want to do a deal at a fair market value. I don't know if they want to pay, if they want to overpay for him. Yeah, and I think they need to.
Obviously, Tottenham are never going to want to overpay for someone. But again, I just think we're in a bit of a desperate situation. We need players in this front line through the door to go and have a good season. Like, it's all well and good beating Burnley 3-0 and, good performance, but as the season progresses, we can't rely on this front three.
I agree with you.
I know you agree with me. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying to the people out there.
Okay, yeah.
We can't rely on this front three to take us into the season and consistently score the goals like we did. I know our front three did brilliantly yesterday. Kudus 2 assists, Richarlison 2 goals, and Brennan Johnson got a goal as well. But it's not something that we can rely on. You're looking at Eze, Crystal Palace and Man City. They've both been sounding out options for replacements. Obviously, Romano again talking about Rodrigo to Manchester City. And obviously, Crystal Palace talking about Bilal El Khanous. And there was another name as well added into the mix as well of Crystal Palace today. I can't remember who it was. But when these things start to happen and they start to sound out replacements, as well as the Savinho injury thing, the Palace Eze thing, not him starting today is kind of not on the same line to that. But it does still feel to me that both these deals are on, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that as well. I think both of them were definitely going hard for both of them, and I don't think it's a coincidence Savinho is quote-unquote injured. Pep just definitely seemed like he was lying on Friday when he was asked about it. He didn't seem like he was telling the truth. He seems like a very bad liar, to be honest. All the City fans I saw commenting on that saying he's just the worst liar. Like, it's so obviously he's lying. So I think clearly something's going on there. Like, I don't think... I don't think that this whole situation comes about if there's not some serious negotiations happening, and I think there's still a decent chance both happen. But I'm still, as a Tottenham fan, I also think there's a decent chance neither of them happen.
And no one blames you for having that thought, because we've been here, we've seen it all, we've got the T-shirt, everything. On every transfer deal that we've been through. There's always so many ups and downs with Spurs transfer talk. When we're looking to bring in a significant player, it's never just plain sailing. It always has to be up and down and up and down and up and down. But look, it's got to come to some sort of conclusion and some sort of resolution very soon, because we're sitting here 17th of August and the transfer window shuts pretty soon, like 2 weeks to go. So, yeah. If I was to hazard a guess or a prediction if these deals are going to happen, I'm going to say they do happen. As much as I feel like an idiot saying that, because I've just been through the mill with Tottenham year after year after year, and we've bungled deal after deal after deal. I don't know. There just seems something different about these, and I think it's just a bit of, posturing from Manchester City. I think they will sanction the sale when it comes to it and when they get that replacement. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think Eze will get done. I think to him starting today, I don't think it changes too much. I just think there's something going on with the payment terms, all that kind of stuff, and Palace are basically being hardline, saying you need to pay X amount up front, otherwise you're not going to get him. And I think Tottenham will either end up doing it or there'll be some sort of compromise. So I'm pretty certain about Eze. Savinho, I don't know what to think about the Savinho deal. I think if that deal is going to get done, there's going to have to be some compromise from City. I think if they're sticking to that price, I'm just sceptical whether Tottenham are actually going to go there. Even though I want them to, I'm sceptical whether they will. So I think there'll have to be some compromise from City. And look, there might be, because it seems as though Savinho's pushing for it himself. Yeah. And if he's doing that, then I think City don't like to keep unhappy players, and they don't like to keep players who don't want to be there. So I think if Savinho keeps pushing like he is, I think there will be some compromise. So if there is, I think that deal will get done. But if there isn't, I'm sceptical about that one.
With Savinho as well, there was a report from The Sun earlier, wasn't there, saying that if he plays 100 games or something, his wage doubles from 40 to 80. And obviously Spurs are willing to give him something of that ilk straight away. And he's kind of doesn't know if he's going to get to that number of games this season, so he wants obviously a pay rise. It wouldn't be on all realms of possibility if Man City just go in with a new contract offer and just put him on that money straight away. You know what I mean?
And that would be that'll be player 50,004 who have used Tottenham to get a new contract.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time we've seen that. I also think if there's truth to that, in terms of that's a motivation for him to come into Tottenham just to get a bit more money, then I mean that wouldn't make me as excited as if he wanted more playing time for footballing. I want him to come for footballing reasons rather than he sees an easy route to get to double his money after only being at Man City for a year, because that would kind of tell me the first chance to make more money somewhere else he'll move, and that's not the kind of character you'd want. So I really hope the motivation to come to Tottenham isn't about just doubling an easy way to double your wages, and I really hope it's about having more playing time and trying to get into our World Cup squad. That's what I hope.
Look, the more and more we hear about City going for other targets, if they are serious about Rodrigo and we hear kind of dominoes fall in that situation, I'll start to become even more confident about Savinho. Once we hear more about Palace getting in targets as well, like Palace don't want to.
We have heard about it, to be honest.
No, I mean like more advanced, because all we're hearing is bids rejected for El Kanous.
I know we heard about this guy from Club Brugge now. Ornstein said.
Is that the other name that I was thinking of? So I mean, has a deal been accepted? Are they further down the line, or is it just interest at this point? Because I'm talking about deals being like maybe further down the line. So I feel like City are not. Crystal Palace are not going to sell themselves short, right?
They've approached Bruges over Christos Tzolis.
He's a good player, by the way.
To replace Eze.
Yeah, so I don't think
a bid rejected.
I think you're going to hear a lot more in the week. They're not going to want to sell Eze without a replacement in. Same with Man City and Savinho.
I think that's also a part of this as well. It helps Palace in their negotiations if Eze plays today, so they don't get strong armed by selling clubs when they're buying.
But even though the selling club will know, like you're only going for this player because you need a number 10 and he's leaving.
Yeah, but still, the fact that if Eze is being left out or refusing to play, that puts Palace in a tougher situation. Then
it makes them more desperate. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I think that's probably as well why Eze if it's the deal's not done, I think Eze wants to help out the team as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, that is where we're at this moment in time. Obviously, this is not the last that we're going to hear of it, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more updates regarding Eze and Savinho. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel the Eze and Savinho deal will get over the line? If it's only one that you think is going to get over the line, let us know which one you think in the comment section below.